This segment of DoD TV's Wildlife Obsession is brought to you by Cabela's, the world's foremost outfitter.
Welcome to Wildlife Obsession, Show 5. When we started this adventure, we promised we would break the season down day by day. That's exactly what we're doing in this week's episode. We're hunting with two of my favorite people in the whole world, Big Brother Terry in Iowa.
Gorgeous day, November the 1st, thank you.
And also my beautiful daughter Taylor there in Missouri.
Dad! Dad!
Looks good, honey.
Dad!
And before the show's over with, we're back to Iowa with Dustin Shaw. Without further ado, let's get after this week's show. November 1st and 2nd, here it comes.
Biologic and Drury's Wildlife Obsession is brought to you by Rage Broadheads, the new Block Black, Big Game Tree Stands, Scent Blocker, Ram Trucks, Thompson Center Arms, Mossy Oak Camo, Hadley Creek Outfitters, Cabela's, Reconics Game Cameras, Biologic, Gamekeepers Magazine, and Drury Outdoors. We're off and running. If you can believe it, we are running a little late. That's a first for us. We're gonna try a ground blind this evening. We're sitting in a blind, we got a west-southwest wind, and we got a beautiful little food plot right in front of us, but I don't know if they're gonna move or not. We've just been scratching our heads here over the last few days, but we'll see. Should be a good evening.
You know, you really know that you're getting old whenever you sit in the same spot more than once, and you can't remember what the yardage was, and you have to range it each time you sit in. Whether it's in a tree stand or ground blind, first thing I do is check that yardage. She's done. It wasn't a perfect shot, but I'm hunting on one of our farms here in Iowa. And I'm doing this for one reason only. I want to donate the deer to the HUSH program. And that's a program that Iowa DNR has, or the state of Iowa has. It stands for Help Us Stop Hunger. And whenever you harvest a deer, there's a number of participating processors here in the state of Iowa. So don't be afraid to take care of the deer properly and then get it to one of those processors as soon as you can so they can help someone else that's a little bit less fortunate.
It really, truly is a privilege. It's an honor to be able to hunt up here and be able to harvest a big fine doe like this one. I will tell you right now that this one is going to feed a lot of hungry folks. So anyway, we're going to get her field dressed and get her out of here. Great evening.
We had really, really nice cool temperatures last night. Actually, it warmed up a little bit. It's 38. It was 35 when we went in last night. But the winds have laid. It's really, really calm. And we're going to go to a spot this morning if we can find it. But it is an extremely, extremely good position.
There's a deer coming up through the timber. Nice deer, pretty buck. I think he's a big 4-year-old, gorgeous deer. Here it is, November the 1st. And look at this, bluebird day, gorgeous high pressure morning. Couldn't have been any better. Thank you. Woo. don't know that I've ever seen a blood trail quite like this one. I mean, it is just spraying blood like you took a big paint sprayer. Look at that.
Sweet, sweet November. You hear us talk about it all the time. Today's November the 1st. First and foremost, I would love to thank Iowa DNR and the state of Iowa for allowing us to do this. If everyone participated in an Earn a Buck program like we try to do, for every buck that we harvest, we try to harvest numerous does to try and keep the herd under control. And I was lucky enough to harvest a doe, and then came in this morning, here it is November 1, and harvested a beautiful, beautiful Iowa 10-point. Now all I gotta do is get him loaded up and get him to a locker.
Here's one of our 7 deadly tactics we haven't talked a whole lot about yet this season, and that's herd management. And if you look at how whitetails are born, they're born roughly in a 1-to-1 ratio. Well, natural mortality is much greater on bucks than it is on does. Hunter pressure, the rigors that they endure during the rut, winter kill, all of those things are much greater on bucks. I read a study this past off season in that for every 100 button bucks that hit the ground, only 6% make it to the age of 6.5. So how do you try and keep it in check on your particular piece of ground? Well, number one, look at your surveys. Look at what your cameras are showing and look at what you're seeing in your own observation. My guess is they're a little out of whack. You're always going to see more does than you do bucks. If that's the case, you have to be the one that employs that doe mortality. It's just as fun as killing a buck. The food can go to a good cause, just like Terry did there with the Hush program, but herd management is so critical in any whitetail plan. 7 deadly tactics, herd management. Try and keep them balanced. The only thing more enjoyable, yet at the same time more challenging than hunting with one 13-year-old, that's hunting with 2 13-year-olds. This ought to be interesting.
Here it is Halloween. We're dressed up as 2 little hunters. Bridget gets in the box wanting to get a second angle, and we climb up the tree, and boy, were we in for a big treat. Well, that one didn't come within our range, but right at dark, here comes another shooter right at us. I was about ready to make the shot, which would have made it my biggest bow kill ever, but he saw does and bolted, and I just told myself, you know what? Whatever happens, it happens for a reason, and tomorrow I knew that I had a gun in my hand, and it would definitely be a different story. Well, it was a complete hassle trying to get Bridget and I up. I really do feel for my dad. Dad!
Oh,
Dad!
looks good, honey.
Dad!
The deer don't care.
So we're driving to the stand, we get to the stand, and we're just like, oh, we couldn't even see our hands in front of us. It was so foggy. So Bridget and I looked at each other and we're like, guess what? It's nap time.
There's no deer.
It's cool. And I'm tired.
It's 8:20 and you're on the ground, along with your counterpart. This is ridiculous. Both of you are grounded.
Bridget and I were kind of bummed heading back to camp because, of course, we didn't get a buck, but we did get some awesome mates. Jared and Terry had both gotten beautiful Iowa bucks.
There he is.
Holy smokes. That's nice. That helped us because it boosted all of our energy back up so we could get back at them that night. Unfortunately, Saturday evening came and went, just a few does and no luck. Sunday morning, dense fog. Dad may not like the idea, but we're sleeping in. It's Sunday night, the last night, and we've got to make this happen.
Well, we're in the blind that my friend Bridget was in the first night. We let this area sit for a few days, and now we're back here. And we've been getting 2 really good bucks on camera, so we're hoping that one of those 2, or both of them, will come out and that I'll get a shot. It's our last night, so we're heading home tonight, so hopefully we can get it done.
This segment of DoD TV's Wildlife Obsession is brought to you by Muddy Outdoors.
He's nice, trust me. Bridget, you filming Taylor? Get the buck over her shoulder. Put him in. You got time. Just leave the gun there, Bridget. Give her 2 bucks. He'll turn. He's gonna go check these toes. He's gonna go to the right. If I guess, oh, here he comes. He should turn to the right. Okay, there's your shot. Bridget, you want
You ready?
kill him? He's down.
Oh my God. That was awesome right there. Holy smokes, so cool. Man, jumped a little bit, but it's okay. Yeah. Good job, girl. God, I have been waiting for this for a long time. Holy smokes. That was awesome. This is what it's all about.
Well, we decided to skip Halloween this year, which turned out not to be that bad. We've been hunting hard, just having fun. And tonight we came out, wind was perfect, temperature was perfect, blind was comfy. We just knew that, this was gonna wrap our trip up. It was the last night and it couldn't have ended any better way. 100% this beats going on Halloween because I get to sit behind him.
Well, here we have the classic case of 2 teenagers skipping Halloween to go hunting. That's almost unheard of by today's standards. But Taylor and Bridget decided to do that, and it looked to me like they were having an absolute blast up there. All right, the deadly tactics? Well, I think they applied 2 out of the 7. First and foremost, the hunter tactic. He put 2 teenage girls in a box blind, which is the perfect place for them, and took MRI, took that most recent information and applied it. Bridget had been sitting there a couple nights before, observed those bucks come out and said, hey, let's hop back in there. We didn't get it done with the archery tackle. Let's take the firearms and try and reach out there and touch them a little bit. And that's exactly what they did. So hunter tactic was number 1. Number 2, I'd have to say food plot. I can't think of another place I'd rather be than over standing beans that time of the year. They just absolutely did a tremendous job. Hats off to Taylor and to Bridget for doing such a great job videotaping there. I thought her angle and some of her camera work probably was a little bit better than Brother Mark's. I know he had to be happy. Great hunt all in all. I enjoyed it.
Welcome to The Last Bite, where we help make you a gamekeeper and help you improve your property by farming for wildlife. Oftentimes guys ask about seeding rates, and this is real important because what's on the bag, that's the rate we recommend. We don't want guys to go out and say, well, if 9 pounds is good, 18 pounds would be even better, because you create a scenario where there's too many plants per square foot. With a little simple math, you can figure out how large your food plot is, length times width, basically. Then you know how much seed you need to put down, how much fertilizer you need to put down. And we've also learned that the spreader and seeder products that are out there on the market weren't really working as well as what we needed them to. So we've designed a hand seeder that's got a gauge on it that helps you open it to the right settings. And we've designed an ATV UTV seeder spreader that's got a graduated gauge on there a gate that'll help you release the right amount of seed, broadcast the right amount of seed. So we worked hard with our blends to be able to advise you, hey, this is 9 pounds to an acre. This is 25 pounds to an acre. We know the rate it needs to be planted at. It's on the bag. We need you now to determine how big your food plot is and plant the appropriate amount in there to make your plot perform the best. We all see how well Mark and Terry's plots look on these shows and the Drury teams. I mean, they do a great job. And if you want them to look like that, you need to put the right amount of seed in the right amount of square footage. And to do that, we've helped you with this hand seeder with the gauge and the ATV seeder that's got the graduated gate. This helps sling out the right amount of seed on your food plot. Check them out on the web. I think you'll be impressed.
I'm Dustin Shaw. I've been hunting for about the last 5.5 years, but it's nothing that I really got into until after I met my wife. Her family is addicted to hunting, and it's something I've been brought into in the last couple of years, and I've really enjoyed it. This year has been nothing but just brutal. Every time we go hunting, it's too warm, or when it does get a little bit of a cold snap, the wind's been wrong. My cameraman and I have just had the worst time getting the luck to swing our way.
We've seen some deer crossing in this area, so we're just gonna slip down here tonight and see what we got going on. So we're gonna give a little while, let the sun go down, let the temperature drop. Yes, I smoked him, baby. Smoked him. You can't take a rage in a cage. Yes. Yes.
It's a little bit early. The sun hasn't totally went down, but I might have hit him a little bit further back than I had planned on. We're going to ease out of here. May give him till the morning. We're going to go back and review the footage. I'd rather be a little bit cautious than to go in there and bump a deer and have a hard time finding him, so.
Last night I shot a really nice deer, but after reviewing the footage, pretty sure I hit him a little further back than I thought I did.
This is way back. We got good blood right here. This is where we saw him bed down yesterday. Got a feeling he walked down this, the bottom of this hill right here is some water. So hopefully we'll walk down there and find him. I see a deer.
We recovered my deer this morning. He didn't go 100 yards from where I shot him. The PSE Dream Season bow and the Rage Broadhead was just a deadly combination that he couldn't handle. I'm very pumped and excited. Can't wait to see what the rest of this year has.
It always amazes me at the Drury Outdoor Studio when we get criticized for leaving a deer overnight before we pursue the track. We have a general rule: if we don't see or hear the animal go down, we generally are going to allow a lot of time before we pursue that track. And I'm going to talk about hunter tactics as I look back at Dustin's successful hunt there in Iowa. In my opinion, it was probably a liver hit, and liver hit deer vary greatly in mortality as to when you can go in there and track them. If you double lung them and you see or hear them go down, obviously the best case to track that deer is to go directly to your animal. However, if you don't see or hear that animal go down, it's time to start looking at every bit of information you can. If you've got a lighted knock, perhaps that showed you where the arrow entered the animal. If you can recover the arrow very quietly without bumping the deer, smell it, look at every sign that it gives you. If it's a liver hit deer, like it was in this case for Dustin, then the correct method is to always back out. Allow that animal 12 or 18 hours to expire, because liver hit deer vary greatly in mortality. It can be the difference between a smile at the end of the blood trail and just frankly scratching your head. Always give the appropriate amount of time.